Vincent van Gogh, a name that stirs the soul, evokes deep emotion, and tells a story of brilliance and tragedy. But what is it about this man's life, his paintings, that continues to resonate with us more than a century after his death? What drove a man to put his entire being into his art, to live in the shadows of obscurity, and yet leave behind a legacy that would later change the world of art forever? Today we will journey through the vibrant yet turbulent world of Van Gogh, exploring his life, his genius, and the complex man behind the iconic swirls of color. Born on March 30th, 1853, in the small village of Zundert, Netherlands, Vincent was no stranger to hardship. The son of a strict religious pastor, Vincent's early life was one of quiet struggle. He wasn't always destined to be an artist. In fact, his first ambition was to follow his father's path and become a preacher. But as the years passed, he found himself drifting away from faith and towards something far more personal. Vincent's early attempts at art were hesitant, overshadowed by doubts about his own talents. But in the depths of this uncertainty, something extraordinary began to take shape. Though his early years were filled with failure, Vincent's passion for art burned brighter each day. He moved to Paris in 1886, where he was introduced to the world of Impressionism, and here, at the crossroads of his life, he would undergo a dramatic transformation. His early works were dark and somber, reflecting his internal struggles. But as Vincent encountered new ideas, new colors, and a new way of seeing, his art took on an entirely different life. His palette exploded with yellows, blues, and oranges, capturing the very essence of emotion itself. Let's pause for a moment and look at the masterpieces that solidified Vincent's place in the annals of history. Starry Night, a swirling cosmos of dreams and longing. Sunflowers, simple yet full of raw, unrelenting life. Irises, a snapshot of fleeting beauty, vibrant with energy and motion. Every stroke, every swirl, every shade. These are not just colors on a canvas. They are windows into the soul of a man grappling with his demons. You see, for Vincent, art was not just about creating. It was about survival. The act of painting was his lifeline. Behind the art was a man at war with himself. Vincent battled mental illness throughout his life, severe depression, anxiety, and episodes of psychosis. The most famous moment of his inner turmoil, the night he cut off part of his own ear. Yet despite this immense personal pain, he continued to paint. His works grew more bold, more intense, as if each canvas was an attempt to express the complexity of his inner world, a world that few could truly understand. In 1889, Vincent checked himself into a mental asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. There, surrounded by the tranquil beauty of the French countryside, he painted some of his most famous works. The Starry Night, Irises, Wheatfield with Crows, they were the product of both his madness and his genius. It was here, in the solitude of the asylum, that Vincent found a sense of clarity. His connection to nature, the world around him, was at its peak. Yet, even as he painted these breathtaking masterpieces, he knew his time was limited. On July 29, 1890, at the age of 37, Vincent van Gogh died from a gunshot wound, under circumstances still shrouded in mystery. His legacy, however, was just beginning. Vincent van Gogh was never recognized for his genius during his lifetime. He sold only one painting in his entire career. Yet today, his works are among the most celebrated in the world. Why? Because in the chaos of his life, in the depth of his suffering, Van Gogh created something timeless. He created art that spoke to the human condition, capturing emotion, light, and the fleeting beauty of life itself. Vincent van Gogh's life was one of struggle, but it was also one of unparalleled artistic brilliance. Through his brushstrokes, we can see not only the world as it was, but as he felt it. His art is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that beauty can emerge from the most difficult of circumstances. Perhaps in the end, that is the true legacy of Vincent van Gogh. He showed us that even in the darkest times, we can create something extraordinary. And that is a message that will never fade. If you want to know about Picasso's life like this, then you are just one click close.